All right, we're back again. I don't think I've ever done this in many lives in my entire life. Oh, I just realized you can see yourself if I do this. Oh, that's rather annoying. Let me take these off. The reason I have these is because they're part of Optimising Sleep. Anyway, let's dive into this straight away. So, at the moment, if you've watched any of these lives before, do go back, because I've covered body structure and exercise. How do you optimize energy through, getting in the right body alignment? What exercise do you do? And the other one that I dived into was yesterday, diving into diet. And I think diet's of fundamental importance, especially food combination theory, and understanding, which foods actually give you energy as opposed to drain yourself of energy. So how do we optimize our sleep? So I have wanted to have less sleep for such a long time. And it's not that I sleep like 10 hours. I sleep, roughly 7-8 hours, but I decided I want to sleep 4 hours. And it was very funny because I started to want to remove sleep because I thought, this is just wasting my time. I'm just lying. I'm not doing anything. Until I read a book, Why We Sleep. And this put it into perspective about how important sleep is for us, right? If we didn't need sleep, then ultimately we wouldn't, right? But we've evolved to always need sleep. So you'd think it's of fundamental importance to the human body, right? And if I told you that there was a drug or a new thing that you could take that would optimize your health, your metabolism, your thinking, your brain power, your memory, just all your bodily functions, you would say, all right, how much is it? I'll take it every day. It's sleep, right? Sleep is of fundamental importance. So let's dive into how much you need to sleep. Because have you ever thought that you need more sleep and you've slept in, I don't know, let's say 9 hours, and then you wake up and suddenly you feel worse? Like, why is that? Why is it that hey Tommy, why is it that you feel worse when you wake up in the morning? I mean, that makes no sense. So actually what happens is we have rhythms of sleep. And if you wake up in the middle of a rhythm of sleep, when you're in your deep REM, you're going to wake up really tired. But ultimately, it's about getting into a routine. What's most important with sleep is you want to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. So your body gets used to this and you are optimizing, I think it's your circular something rhythm. I don't know exactly what it is, but you're optimizing that rhythm basically. And circadian rhythm, there we are, there you are for you, circadian rhythm. So when this is optimized, it means that you're releasing melatonin at the right point in time and you can fall asleep. Now, I travel every month or so this is slightly more difficult. However, even at the places that I go, I do my very best to stay up as late as I can and then get up at 5 the next day. So for me, sleeping 7 hours a night is fantastic. It really helps me optimize myself and I just feel incredible. So really, I very much leave it up to yourselves to see how much sleep do you need and how can you really optimize that for yourself? Go 7 hours, then do 6.5 hours consistently in 6 hours. Can't say I've done this myself because I travel every month or so, so I don't think it would make sense. But actually, if you do that, and when I'm based in one place for an elongated period of time, I will do this to find out the exact amount of sleep to optimize myself. Next is you want to stop looking at your phone before you go to bed. Now, most people, what is the last thing they do before they go to bed? They look at a screen which shoots bright light into their face, which decreases the melatonin, and you're not going to get a good night's sleep, which is why for many people, they find it very difficult to sleep at night. Right? You don't want to look at your phone. I'm trying to pick up my phone here, but I realize I'm talking to my phone on my laptop. So instead, right, you've got to put it away, right? If you are going to look at it, get these bad boys, right? These are blue, they are glasses that stop blue light. They're awesome. These are honestly been game-changing for me. And people will have flux for the laptop and their phone, but having these is awesome because the truth is you've got lights all around your house, right? And as great as it is, you're putting it on your phone, you've got a lampshade, there's other things that may not be optimized for your sleeping pattern. Next, turn the bright lights off in your house towards the evening. Because if you don't, it's just going to be affecting you and affecting your sleep, right? So you've got to find ways in which to optimize your environment so that you can sleep well in the evening. Something else that I really recommend for people is journaling. And you may hear this from time to time, but let me explain why I think it's very powerful. In the evening, I had a client that had terrible sleep patterns. She would sleep a couple of hours, then wake up, and was completely overwhelmed. One of the things that I told her to do, well, actually I told her to do 2 things. The first thing was to journal in the evening. because that's get rid of all your thoughts and you can just write everything down, and it's a nice way to sort of ease yourself into your routine. The other thing that I recommend her to do, which is slightly different, is something called morning pages. And this is by a lady called Julia Cameron. And basically you write 3 pages of A4 as soon as you wake up. The reason this is important is it basically externalizes your mind and you can get rid of everything that you've been thinking about. I find that doing it in the morning and the evening also helps to optimize sleep. So that's something that you can play around with if you're looking to optimize your routine. Next, people say that you shouldn't take power naps and they're not too sure. I think power naps are wicked. I really do. But this is an important thing to note. You don't want to have a power nap, like a 20-minute power nap, after 2 p.m. because if you do, it's going to affect the sleep in the evening. Instead, you want to make sure that you can have that rest before 2 p.m., have a quick nap, and then you'll wake up re-energized. And that's important because you're just putting your body out, and then you're back and refreshed. It's one of the best things to do. Like, as much as people will say, go through with coffee and keep drinking loads of coffee, coffee is just pure acid in your system. You need to get rid of that because that stimulus is just blocking things, and ultimately you're going to crash at some point. So it's better to have a much more sustainable style of living than to go through these crashes and burns. Next thing is that you don't want to eat food 2 hours before you go to bed, because if you do, as I mentioned yesterday, right, your stomach is digesting your food, and that is one of the most energy consuming functions of the body. So if you're lying down and you're then digesting food, it's going to affect your sleep, and you're slowly going to basically not get a good sleep. So you want to make sure that you don't eat food 2 hours before you go to bed, and make sure that you hydrate like a bad man. Right? What I mean by this is most people don't get anywhere near enough water in life. Right? Water is incredibly important. If you want to optimize sleep, one of the best things to do is have a lot of water before you go to bed, but don't have a ton. And then you wake up in the middle of the night like 4 or 5 times. I mean, that's just silly. Right? Instead, have some water, but have your water right by your bed. So as soon as you wake up, drink a liter. If you drink a liter of water as soon as you wake up, tell me you're tired. You won't be. Most people are tired when they wake up because they're dehydrated. Instead, you really just want to look after yourself, hydrate, and sort your sleep out. So that's pretty much everything on sleep that I wanted to share today. I mean, really, it's optimizing your own routine. But the most important thing is not to have light affecting your eyes. And you want to make sure that you're just aware of how much sleep you actually need and to tailor your environment to best help you with this, as well as de-stressing or finding ways to ease down from the day. Tomorrow, I'm going to be diving into optimizing energy through gadgets and tools. This is going to be a really interesting one. Hopefully, you'll get a few more insights. I hope you found this very useful. Share it with anyone that you think will benefit, and I look forward to chatting to you tomorrow. Good evening. And I'll tell you what, I'm not very good at ending these lives, am I? It's quite slow to end these things. I mean, you'd think they just have a button, wouldn't you? Right, goodbye. They're still going. I'll tell you what, this